material because I know it's a lot of God stuff and a lot of gay stuff, and my agents are nervous. I think my whole team was a little nervous when I said I was going to do a tour called Save Me and talk about religion. I got a call from my publicist one day like, hey, I heard you're going to call the special prodigal daughter and you want to call the tour Save Me. I think that's great. Just making sure you're not taking any promo photos like hanging upside down from a cross, right? Anyway, so we got rid of those photos. But no, I did not do that. I did not do that. That was never the intention. I understand why they thought it was going to be an hour just bashing Christianity, because if you watch all of my other specials, I usually take a few minutes to take a few shots at Christianity, and that's because I was working through a lot of stuff from my childhood, and also I was really jealous that Christianity had worked for other people and not me. As a mentally ill person, it is devastating when someone just goes, yeah, I used to be sad too, and then I accepted Jesus into my heart, and now I'm all better. And you're like, oh, is that all you did? That's all you did? Oh, just said a little poem in the dark, and now you're worthy of love? That's great. I love that for you. It's It's like when someone goes, yeah, I just stopped drinking soda, lost 20 pounds, all my acne went away. And you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. I hope your plane falls out of the sky. The problem that I have with religion is it can be interpreted so many different ways, right? Like you can say to a room full of people, Jesus loves you no matter what. And a lot of those people will hear, Jesus loves me. But some of those people will hear, no matter what. And that's the problem, right? Religion can be used as either a weapon or a tool. And to be clear, if you are using religion as a weapon to control, manipulate, scare people, to make yourself feel superior to everyone else, fuck you. That's not what it's for. You are not using that correctly. You're using a vibrator as a back massager and we're all fucking laughing at you. Because if God does exist, he does not exist to make you feel better than other people. He exists to make you better for other people. And life is so fucking hard. Whatever makes you a better person for other people, that's what you should be doing. We do this weird thing where we forget that everybody's struggling. Everybody's just trying to get through it. And we judge each other's coping mechanisms. Like, oh, you're a quitter if you get on antidepressants. You're stupid if you believe in God. Bitch, I'm on mood stabilizers. You're on Jesus. We're all trying to get to dead with daddy. We're all trying to get there. It's fine. And there are a lot of people who are using religion correctly. People like my aunt and uncle, my grandparents, the people at this church. There are a lot of people who are using religion as a tool for community and connection and compassion and comfort. And when I was writing this hour, I was thinking about those people. And I was thinking about my family. 6. Okay, like 6:30. Do you have time to feel abandoned and worthless? Okay, 6:30 in the parking lot. It's a date. I love you so much. You're doing a great job at work. Bye. That's never happened to me once. Every feeling I have demands to be felt immediately. Every feeling I have demands its own parade. Every feeling I have just turns into that scene from Aladdin where he's pretending to be a prince. It's like, OMG, Taylor's hungry. This could get dicey. Needs a sandwich. Now she's a bitch. Take it from me. But I'm glad I've had this year to work on this stuff because I needed it. Is there anyone in here who grew up religious but is not religious anymore? You're at the right show. All right, of those people, who saved people? Who spread the good news while they were religious? Ooh, bit of a drop off there. That's tough. A lot of us didn't do the homework. You saved people while you're religious, but you're not religious anymore? Okay. Do you ever feel... Serious question. Do you ever feel like maybe you should, call those people? Just a courtesy call. Like, hey, remember when I told you about forever? I don't know. What if those people get up to heaven and they're like, look, your sponsor's not in there. So We didn't know you were coming. I don't know. Are you sure? Maybe they Holy Ghosted you. We're sorry. For real, though, you got to go to hell. We're sorry about that. I never saved anybody at all. I was talking to someone who grew up Mormon. I was like, well, you guys were really saving people. And he was like, oh, yeah, baptism for the dead. You guys know what that is? I didn't know. Apparently, in Mormonism, sometimes they will save people after they've died, which really takes the pressure off of saving live people, doesn't it? When you can just go, hey, do you believe in God? And they're like, no. And you're like, that's okay. We'll wait. And then as soon as they're dead, you're like, bibbity boppity Mormon. This is how you get a soul to heaven, right? Like you're trying to get poop smell out of your hinge date's bathroom. If you're not laughing, you're married, and fuck you, this joke's not for you. Enjoy shitting with the door open. Some of us have to carry matches everywhere. But because I grew up in church, I see Bible stories everywhere, right? Like, here's some fun ones. What about the 200 foreskins story? Do you know that one? Yeah? That's a deep cut. So, in the Bible, David wanted to marry Saul's daughter, and Saul's like, you can marry my daughter if you bring me back the foreskins of 100 of my enemies. Which, like, whoa, Scorpio, am I right? Who has 100 enemies and is thinking about their foreskins? Like, someone was born in deep November. So Saul's like, get me 100 foreskins, then we'll talk. So David goes out, comes back with 200 foreskins, and that's where the phrase, if he wanted to, he would, ladies, comes from. Yeah. That's not from TikTok, that's from the Bible. What about Job? Have we heard of Job? Job? Got some Job heads in the house? Job was this guy in the Bible. He loved God so much. One day, God and Satan are talking. They don't really get into why they're talking, but, you know, sometimes you call your ex and everyone's like, what are you doing, right? So God and Satan are kicking it for some reason. And Satan goes, hey, God, I noticed that Job loves you a lot. And God's like, yeah. And Satan's like, well, I bet he wouldn't love you as much if I fucked with him enough. And God's like, okay, I'm bored. Let's see what you got. So Satan goes out and he ruins Job's life. But Job never forsakes God. And that is what How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is based off of. Matthew McConaughey is Job. Kate Hudson is Satan. I've been working on anxiety in therapy. That's been my main focus for the last few years. Anybody have anxiety? Does anybody struggle with panic attacks? Has anyone ever gone to the emergency room for anxiety or panic attacks? Oh, a few of us. Look at that. What do we think was happening? Heart attack? Yeah. And then you get there and they're like, oh, it's actually your mind that's attacking you. Yeah. I'll make you feel better. I went to the emergency room once because I fell asleep in AirPods, woke up, couldn't find one, thought I swallowed it. You meant you drove halfway there and it turned around because it was silly? Nope, went the whole way. Got seen. I wish I could pretend this story happened a really long time ago, but the technology involved makes that impossible. So I've always had a lot of trouble sleeping, my entire life. And before AirPods came out, I would fall asleep in regular headphones, listening to a podcast or a movie, something to calm me down. And before AirPods came out, headphones had cords on them. So if you swallowed one of those, you just pull it out like a magician's scarf. No big deal. But then they came out with AirPods, so I started falling asleep in those. And so a few years ago, doesn't matter how many, I fell asleep in 2 AirPods, woke up in 1 AirPod, and was like, well, obviously I swallowed it. Like a baby or a dog. Convinced my sister to take me to the emergency room, ruining Christmas morning for everyone. So we get to the emergency room in our hometown where I have to tell 3 grown women at the front desk what I'm doing there. I'm like, well, you probably get this all the time. But it would seem that I may have, inadvertently, in my sleepy sleeps, swallowed an AirPod? And they were like, an AirPod, sweetie, those are pretty big, right? Those are big. You really think you could have swallowed an air? I said, how about we don't have a team discussion about what I can and can't swallow, okay? And they're like, wow, someone was ugly in middle school. We'll take you back. So they take me back. We're waiting for a doctor, which, by the way, I don't know what I thought a doctor was going to do if I had, in fact, swallowed an AirPod. They're not going to perform surgery. They're going to go, oh, my God, yeah, it's in there. Well, stop at Taco Bell on the way home. Good luck. Taco Bell, good for every occasion. I don't know what I thought the AirPod was going to do to me damage-wise in there. I'm like, what if it's still charged? What if it electrocutes my intestines or starts playing Glee covers and everyone can hear? My sister's like, you deleted them all. I'm like, no, all of them. Some of them are bangers. Before a doctor can come in to see us, my other sister calls us from home and goes, hey, yeah, we found it in the pillowcase. Does Crazy want to come home and have pancakes now? I'm so embarrassed. I want to sneak out the back as quickly as possible. I'm like, let's just go. Let's just leave. And my sister's like, you can't just disappear. They're going to think something bad happened. I was like, something bad did happen. Let's go. She's like, that's an emergency exit. I'm like, it's an emergency room. It's probably a regular exit. Let's leave. But here's my problem with the emergency room. When you are having an anxiety or panic attack, it is your only option, which is why I think they need to open a second option right next door called the anxiety room. All right? So you have the ER and the AR. And the ER is where you go when you've been shot, stabbed, you are actively bleeding. That's where you go. You fill out all that complicated paperwork because that seems like the time to do it. And then the AR is where you go when you're like, I don't know where the bad is, but it's in me somewhere. It's either cancer or the devil, but I have to get it out. And that is just one fill-in-the-blank form that says, I know that it is probably fine, but... my bones feel itchy. I don't know! I just need someone in a white coat to tell me I'm stupid. I know I mentioned I turned 30 2 weeks ago. And that means that I have spent the last 14 years of my life trying to get good at this, trying to get good at stand-up, trying to have the career that I am now fortunate enough to have. Thanks to all of you, honestly, yeah. And as grateful as I am, and as lucky as I am, it has really made me, this year especially, go, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to be good at this other stuff. I mean, I know I'm a good comedian. I don't know if I'm a good person. I don't know if I'm a good parent. I don't know if I'm a good partner. This hour of material that I'm doing right now, that's like, can I have it all? I don't even know. This is not a bit, DC. I am genuinely concerned. Because I know how hard it is to do this job and be in this business and have a family. I see how hard friends of mine work at it. I also see how little work people put into it. There are a lot of people in this business who are like, you can have kids and travel. They got FaceTime now, which feels like tying your dog up outside a coffee shop and going, I can see him through the window. He's okay. And I still have a lot of childhood shit that I'm working through on my own. I don't want to put that on a kid, right? Like, I was watching a TED Talk recently. Sorry, I was watching a TikTok recently. I always get those confused. The information's still good, it's just vertical. That said, if you have childhood trauma you are still working through as an adult, you need to learn how to parent yourself as a grown-up. So I've been trying to do that in order to heal. I've been trying to parent myself. But I kind of feel like I got pregnant with me in high school. And I was not ready for this responsibility. And now I wake up every morning, totally overwhelmed, trying not to shake me. Like, okay. If I let you watch TikTok on my phone for 30 minutes, will you please stop crying? All my friends are like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I think I have colic. I kept me up all night. I love TikTok, but you know what's so funny to me about TikTok? All these kids on TikTok who are like lip syncing and dancing and like pretending they're in a music video, right? We all did that growing up, didn't we? Yeah, like alone in your room in the mirror, hairbrush, of course. But if anyone had walked in on you doing it, you would have killed yourself, right? And these kids are online, like, I hope millions of people see this. It's like, you could benefit from some bullying, I think. Might have overcorrected a bit. But I do have a lot of friends who are getting married and having kids, and, you know, they're condescending as hell. They're so It's so funny how the same girls who used to wake up drunk on train tracks are now like, I don't know how you stay out past 10 p.m. Your lifestyle's really unhealthy. I'm like, I've seen you snort coke off a rusty bike rack. But you keep sniffing that baby's head like we all forgot. But my friends who have kids and are married, like, they complain about their jobs, and I do the same dismissive thing right back to them, where I'm like, well, yeah, but you're married, so you're fine. They're like, yeah, but I'm miserable 60 hours of the week. I'm like, yeah, but you have your dream dick, so you're fine. And it's not great, and I think part of it is that we're all turning 30, and 30 was this age in our heads where we're like, well, by 30, we'll have all our shit together, right? So that kept us going through our 20s. We're like, we're 25, and we're garbage, but in 5 years, we'll have it all figured out. And then you're like, I'm 27, and I'm just a piece of shit, but I have 3 years to turn this around. And then you're like, okay, I'm 29, crunch time, bitch. And now that we're all 30, we're like, oh shit, our lives are not going exactly as we always pictured them. And so now there's this weird comparing that's going on, this weird tension. Like, I know that all of my friends both pity and envy me. Just like I know that I both pity and envy them, right? I know my friends look at me and go, yeah, I mean, I would probably focus on work if I was all alone. And I go, yeah, I'd probably have a bunch of kids if I had no talent. So we're all... And it's not healthy per se. But I do think it's good to focus on what is going right in your life. I think that that's gratitude. I think that that's important. And it has gotten me through a lot of weddings and baby showers to have my dream job. To sit in the back row like, yeah, whatever. Have your bullshit love party. Hope it works out. I'm still gonna have the coolest job of anybody you know. And that was true until somebody married an astronaut. And everybody's so impressed. I guess astronaut beats everything. They're like, you gotta admit, Taylor, that's the coolest job. And I'm like, oh, he's gotta wear a costume or he'll die? Fuck off. That's a dumb job. Now, if I can't breathe somewhere, I don't go there, Dan. That's just science. Dan hasn't even been to space, you guys. He just goes to work and practices space. That's his job. He goes in, they put him in a roller coaster ride. They're like, don't throw up. He's like, you got it, Captain. What a hero. I've been masturbating like this my entire adult life, and I recently mentioned it to a friend of mine. And you ever say something out loud and realize you never should have ever? I said it so casually over brunch, didn't even think about it. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't think about anything. Well, I do that. And she was like, what? She put her fork down. What? You don't think about anything? And I was like, oh no, I mean, I think some stuff, obviously. And she was like, what do you think about? And I was like, oh, you know, just like almost there, making good time. You know, just like road trip thoughts, like keep your hands steady, don't fall asleep. Can't wait to get there so I can eat. Better hurry up, Taco Bell's gonna close, you know. And she was like, that is so weird, Taylor. Why don't you just watch porn like a normal person? And I was like, ugh, I don't like porn. Every time I try to watch porn, I'm just like, you gotta shave there too? I'm tired and I'm cold. And I'm not against porn, okay? I'm not one of these people that's like, if you watch porn, it'll ruin your relationship. I don't feel that way, all right? I dated a guy once who was really into massage porn, where the masseuse would like fuck their client at the end, which means sometimes when we had sex, I got a massage! That's an example of porn working for you. But my friend was like horrified. She was like, Taylor, this like monk masturbation thing you do, it is so much creepier and weirder than any porn I've ever seen. And I've seen most of it. And she goes, there are so many different options porn-wise on the internet now. You just go home and Google porn for women, okay? Just do it, I promise. Porn for women. And so I went home and I Googled porn for women so I wouldn't be weird at brunch. And a lot of surprising things came up when I Googled it. First thing that came up when I Googled porn for women was a link to Disney Plus, where all the Avengers movies are. Now, For me personally, they jump around too much. There's too many storylines. You're almost there with Loki, and now we're on Captain America. It's like, I have to start over. That's a different speed, a different pressure, and now there's a raccoon? No. The second thing that came up when I Googled porn for women was a website where real-life couples are uploading amateur sex tapes. Yeah, real-life couples are like, hey, we're so happy and in love. We thought that we would film ourselves making love and then put it online for you, a lonely person. Is it working? Are you wet? And you're like, not in the right place. No. But congratulations, what you have seems really special. But the last thing that came up when I Googled porn for women, I did not know existed. It's something called audio porn. It's exactly what it sounds like. There's no visual aspect. It's all audio. It's not really a porn star. It's more like a porn voice actor talking you through a sexy situation. It's like a podcast, except don't listen while you're driving. And because it's for women, that just means there's a story, right? Anyone can watch. They don't check. They don't just hop on the mic like, now it's out, bitch! Like they ease you into it. And so the one I found is 20 minutes long. I will send it to you if you DM me. And the first 12 minutes, the story is just a man calming you down after you've been in a car wreck. That is the foreplay. And you guys, I came so hard. I mean, I didn't even make it to the sex part. It was the comfort alone. He's like, it's okay, take some deep breaths, don't worry. The insurance companies will figure it out. I'm like, oh my God, that's right, that's why we have insurance. By the time he was like, what else can I do? Should I go down on you? I was like, nah, man, I got Allstate. I'm in good hands. You know, anytime I wasn't actively yearning for it, of course. Oh, good, some depression in the room, thank God. I did that joke in Sweden. They just stared at me. They were like, huh? Sad for no reason? But how? They didn't get it. A lot of this hour, Europe didn't get. They were like, God, we have healthcare. They give you God instead of healthcare? That doesn't seem like the same thing. If you have depression, you have a pretty complicated relationship with death. You sort of look at death like it's the Phantom of the Opera. Most of the time, you're like, oh, that's scary. But then sometimes you're like, I mean, that side of his face is kind of hot. Hear me out. I could live underground. I don't know. This section is sad. I've been trying to face my fear of death head on this past year. I wrote a will because a lot of my friends were getting married, and I was like, I want to sign a scary document. I learned so much. If you don't have a will, you gotta write one with a professional. That panicked note you write on your phone during turbulence, that will not hold up in court. They taught me that. I thought for sure that was fine. Nope. Here's what I learned. I did not know this. If you die unexpectedly, your closest living relatives are your parents, not your siblings, which is what I thought because I'm dumb. So if you die unexpectedly, your parents will inherit everything you own, unless you disinherit them in writing like the petty bitch you are, right? And I know some of you are sitting there right now going, well, whatever. I don't have a good relationship with my parents, Taylor, but I don't really have anything for them to inherit. Do you have a TV? Do you think your shitty dad deserves an extra TV? You think your death should feel like winning the Price is Right for him? Fuck that. Call a lawyer. My parents don't watch me do stand-up anymore. Don't worry. Don't worry. They're not interested. No Christian parents want to watch their daughter talk about depression and dick for an hour. It's not fun for them. My parents don't have a dark sense of humor, and I do, and I'm glad I do, because if you can laugh at the darkest stuff that's ever happened to you while it's still actively happening to you, Sometimes that's what gets you through it. For example, here's a joke they will not like. Did you guys know that sometimes when you call a suicide hotline and the call drops, they do not call you back? Yeah, you think that'd be the time for star 69, but sometimes they just ring a bell in the cubicle like, lost another one, that's lunch. Some of you are tensing up like, did that really happen? Yeah, a few years ago, and it was fucking hilarious. I was on the floor of a DoubleTree hotel like, did this bitch just ghost me while I'm trying to ghost myself? That is, I mean, I've been left on red. I've never been left for dead. That's a new one. That is brutal. I wasn't even mad. For all I know, that's how they train those volunteers. Like, hey, some nights we get too many calls. Fridays are big for us. In those situations, you're just gonna have to use your best judgment, all right? Like, I usually wait for like a privileged white girl name, like a Chelsea, a Kelsey, a Taylor. Those are the salmon I throw back and hope they swim upstream on their own. Even if I was mad, what am I gonna do? Hop on Yelp? Like, 1 star, totally killed myself. You're gonna wish I killed myself after this reveal. I did that joke in Texas a few weeks ago, and there was a girl, white, my age, in the crowd who goes, and the wait times are ridiculous. And she's right, okay? I think if you were a frequent caller, there should be some sort of rewards program. You know, like when you show loyalty to an airline. Like, you should be able to do that with suicide hotlines where you call in and they're like, please enter your rewards number. Boop, 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 boop. Welcome back. Taylor. Thank you for your diamond medallion status. You are now 3rd in line. Would you like to use an upgrade and kick someone else out? My parents are still very, very religious. But if any of the relationships that I had had in my 20s had worked out, I would not have my dream job. I would not have the career I've always wanted. And I've had a lot of cool experiences just this year as a result of being on my own. I finally got to do some shows in Europe back in April, which was a dream come true. And because I was single, instead of taking someone I was dating, I took my best friend, Courtney. Courtney's been my best friend since we were 10 years old. 20 years, she's seen me through everything. She saw me through depression in high school. She saw my first stand-up show ever. When I called off an engagement a few years ago, she kept my wedding dress in her attic like it was Jumanji. I'm like, just put this where I can't hear the drums. And she and I got to run around Europe paying for shit with my dick joke money. It was awesome. And it was really special to have her on that trip with me because exactly a year before that, last April, I was alone in a green room in Colorado, pre-show, post some breakup. And I got a call from Courtney. And I was like, hey, I thought you were on vacation with your boyfriend this weekend. And she goes, yeah, no, we are, but I just want to check in and see how you were doing. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And I talked to her about me for like 10, 15 minutes. And finally I was like, hey, you're not really saying anything about you and your trip. I mean, are you guys okay? And she goes, oh my God, yes. Oh yeah, no, we're great. We're great. We're actually, we are actually engaged. And I was like, what? Oh my God, why did you ask about me at all? And she goes, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make sure that you were in a place where you could hear it. It was so sweet and so hurtful. I have never felt so seen and so insulted in my whole life. Her fiance was there the whole time. Oh, she's like, and then what else? She sounds stable. She sounds like she can handle it. That's how you know your best friends met the one, by the way, when you can no longer get them on the phone alone ever again. You call them late at night crying halfway through the call. They're like, by the way, you don't care that Todd's been here the whole time, right? And you're like, oh my God, no. I actually called to see if Todd thinks I have a yeast infection. So glad Todd is available. And don't get me wrong, I love my best friend's fiance. I think he's an amazing guy. If he died, would a little part of me be like, sleep over? Of course. But I really was so touched that she was thinking about me and my mental health during her engagement that I went out on stage that night and I said, before we start the show, can you guys do me a huge favor? Can we make a video for my best friend who just got engaged? And the crowd's like, yeah. So I got my phone, I put it on selfie mode, and I went 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Courtney! Me and 2,000 people yelling it for her. And I got off stage that night and I texted her the video to say, hey, I love you. I'm so happy for you. And look at all these people who paid to see me. I'm doing just fine. I have one of Hugh Jackman's gloves. Thank you so much, DC. You are absolutely amazing. So I can only see her every 6 to 8 months. We got lunch a couple months ago. Our food comes to the table. She immediately sends her food back to the kitchen. Did you know you could do that outside of a film? She did that shit in real life. I go, oh my God, what was wrong with it? She goes, there was a hair in it. One hair. There would have to be a toupee on my lasagna. And even then I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I should have asked for this without toupee. I understand it's a garnish. It's just sort of triggering in this political climate, but I understand. It looks very natural. Thank you, chef. I'll pick around it. Binged Euphoria too fast. Because I've been trying to date women, but it is so hard. I don't know how to get women to like me. I know how to get men to like me. That's easy. You just trick them. You just wait until they kind of like you, and then you're like, you don't like me. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no, you don't. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no, you don't. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you just do that until they get you pregnant, I think. You just have to turn it into a fun challenge for them. Like, bet you can't spend the rest of your life with me. And they're like, fucking watch me, you bitch. It's like when you ask a kid to take out the trash and they're like, no. And you're like, I'll time ya. And he's like, and you're like, see, you didn't even think you wanted to do that. He's like, who cares? I'm the fastest boy alive. Hitting on women is so much harder. It feels so much more delicate. Like, hitting on a woman feels like trying to skip a stone on a lake. Hitting on a man feels like throwing a brick through a window. I'm like, I don't even really care. I just want to see what happens. I'm not going to live here, right? I might be sexist. I'm hearing it now as I'm talking. I think I'm sexist because when a man rejects me, I'm like, this idiot. But when a woman rejects me, I'm like, she probably knows what she's talking about. So I was talking to a friend of mine about it because, you don't want to just it's scary to just say you're bisexual because then someone's always like, fucking prove it. Here's a picture of Margot Robbie. Are you wet? Let me feel. Like everyone's real aggressive about it. It's weird. You gotta prove it to people. But I was asking my friend about it and she goes, well, obviously sexuality is a spectrum. She watched Euphoria too. But she goes, I know that I'm super straight because I could not go down on another girl. I think that's gross. And I was like, okay. Let's think about this, Taylor. Why are you not going down on a girl right now? Is it because it's gross to you? And I was like, no, it's not that it's gross to me. It's that I really don't want to be bad at something as an adult. Okay? My brother is trans, my sisters are gay, and I identify as afraid. I am so afraid of failure. I can't even stick with new hobbies as an adult. How the fuck am I supposed to get good at... Getting good at going down on women to me would be like learning how to play the piano. I would love to have that skill. I would love to bust that shit out at parties, impress everyone. But I don't have the time or humility to sit down and learn new fingerings. I don't have it. I get halfway through Jingle Bells, I'm like, fuck, I suck. I should have started at 12. I'll never catch up. I already know how to play the clarinet. It is not my passion, but I have the respect of my peers. I have many years of experience under my belt, under someone's belt, under some belt. And when I was a kid, I didn't know there was another option. When I was a kid, they were like, you're a girl, you play clarinet. And I was like, what about piano? Could I play piano if I want? And they're like, sure, you can play piano. If you want to go to fucking hell. Anybody else religious trauma? Do we have any of that in here? Okay. I'm so sorry if you don't have any. I know I'm a broken record about it. I should shut up about it. But I keep realizing new things every year. For example, did you guys know that when you come, you're not supposed to yell, take that, Jesus? Did you guys know that? I wish that was a joke, DC. I really do. But this last breakup was different for me because this was the first breakup I had gone through since I got on Netflix. And before I was on Netflix, every time I went through a breakup, my friends were very supportive. Like, we're so sorry, we're here for you, it'll get better. Then I got on Netflix and I went through a breakup, and all my friends were like, well, I mean, you have your dream job. So, yeah, all my friends looked at my sad face and went, you can't have it all, bitch. All of them. And I was so offended. And then I thought about it for a minute and I was like, you know what? I don't want anybody to have it all either. None of us do. It's why they keep putting out Marilyn Monroe documentaries where they're like, she's actually pretty sad. And we're like, yeah, she fucking was. Nobody wants anybody to have it all. If someone has their soulmate, you don't want them to have their dream job too. If someone has their dream job, they don't get to be in love on top of that. If someone has their dream job and their soulmate, bare minimum their parents better be divorced. I'd prefer they were an orphan. Nobody wants anybody to have it all. When I was a kid, I didn't think you could have it all. When I was a kid, I thought you either got to be hot or have a good personality. I thought that's how people were divided. I thought life was fair. And that got me through a lot of ugly years as a child where I'm like, it's okay that I'm not more symmetrical because I have this great, awesome personality that will surely reveal itself any day now. It's coming with my period and my Hogwarts letter. I can feel it. And that got me all the way to 6th grade when I met my friend Krista, and she was pretty and funny and smart and nice. And that's when I stopped believing in God. But so many of my friends said a version of this to me after my last breakup that I actually started to feel really guilty. Because you know what, DC? This is my dream job. I can't believe I'm filming my 3rd Netflix special tonight. I cannot believe. I have been so insanely lucky in my career. And the more I thought about that, the more I was like, yeah, Taylor, nobody has every single thing going for them as a person. You have been so blessed. Be grateful for what you have. Focus on that. Nobody gets to have it all. And then I saw Hugh Jackman in person. And I was like, oh, I guess you can't have it all, but there's none left because God gave it all to you. Hugh Jackman is a perfect specimen of a human man. Seeing him in person was a religious experience. It changed me. It was like seeing the Grand Canyon. I think everyone should do it at least once before they die. He is a wonder of the world, that man. It was like seeing Niagara Falls. You can bring the whole family, you get a little wet, but it's fun. It was. Here's what happened. So about a year and a half ago, we were in New York City doing shows on tour, and we had an off night in between theater shows. So me and my buddy Dustin and his wife Melissa and a few of our other friends who are also happy went to go see The Music Man on Broadway, which was starring Hugh Jackman. Was it a good show? I don't know, but Hugh Jackman was there the whole time. They should have called the show, "We Got Hugh Jackman in a Room. Who Wants to See Him?" The show was great. At the end of the show, they're doing curtain calls. All the actors are taking their bows. One of the actors steps forward and goes, "You've come on a very special week because tonight we're raising money for an amazing charity called Broadway Cares. And tonight Hugh is going to sign the pair of gloves he wore in the show. And we're going to auction them off to the highest bidder." And I looked at my friends and I was like, I mean, I have money. And they were like, "Really? This is what you're going to spend the Netflix money on, huh?" And I was like, "Well, I don't have a family. There's no one else here, and I've already had braces. If I can't have it all, I'm going to have those gloves." Also, I just thought it would be hilarious as a bit because everybody asks you when you get on television, they're like, "What'd you spend that money on? Did you buy a new jacket? Did you buy a new car?" And I'm like, how funny would it be if my first big TV purchase was a pair of sweaty gloves worn by Wolverine, right? It's like, what am I, a man? So dumb. So I start competing in the auction, and I'm doing pretty well because I got nothing to lose and no one to live for. And I'm doing so well that it gets down to me and just 2 other bidders. It gets down to me, an older woman towards the front, and I kid you not, Jake from State Farm. That is 100% true, that detail, and I hesitate to include it because it makes the story sound like a dream I had once. He's like, "So in the dream, I'm trying to get Hugh Jackman's gloves. But then Jake from State Farm's there. He thinks he's going to get them. I'm like, fat chance, commercial boy. Those gloves are mine." Then Flo from Progressive rides in on a horse for some reason. But whoops, who's that? Tony the Tiger pops a wheelie on his motorbike. All cash offer. Can't beat Tony. That's old money. So it is now down to me, this woman, and Jake. I think what happened next was, I think Jake could tell that me and this woman needed the win more than he did. So, like a good neighbor, State Farm backs out. It is now down to me and this woman. We are ping-ponging back and forth, back and forth. I think I blacked out for a minute because when I came to, we were at a number that I've not agreed to pay since college. So exactly like college, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm not gonna finish. As they're about to say, once, twice, sold, the woman in the front, Hugh Jackman, steps forward, stops the auctioneer, and goes, Before we end the auction, I just have to say, I am so moved by the generosity of tonight's audience. You know, I have 2 gloves. If I were to sign both of them, would these 2 ladies match each other's bid? And he looked right at me. Now, I've never paid for sex. But I did drop $7,000 on eye contact with Hugh Jackman. Thank you for clapping. That joke was expensive. They're like, don't worry, it's a tax write-off. I'm like, don't worry, I will make sure that it is. I wish I could tell you that the whole time I was like, it's for charity. But the truth is, I completely forgot till the end. And even then, I was like barely listening. I was too busy talking to the glove, like, Hugh's fingers were inside you. What was that like? He's surprisingly gentle. I knew it. I love telling that story because I can always tell who grew up in church based on who starts laughing at, you know I have too. You're like, oh, I read the Bible. I know when they're about to cut a baby in half. In therapy, I figured out the day in my childhood I became an emotional eater. I was 8 years old and I was eating a bagel in the kitchen and my dad came in and he goes, you're going to want to put that bagel down. I got to tell you something. And that's when he told me that my mom had died. So somewhere in my brain, something clicked like, oh, when you stop eating bread, people perish. I went back to 4th grade like the angel of death. Everyone's like, step on a crack, break your mother's back. I'm like, stop eating bread, now your mom's dead, dude. They left out that second part, but I had a list when I was 8. I tell you guys that because no one told me. They pulled me aside a year later at school. Someone's like, Taylor, your teacher thinks you might be struggling with a speech impediment. I'm like, what's a speech impediment? Are you sure you have the right person? Because I'm crushing it out there. And they're like, you didn't do anything wrong. You pronounce your words a little differently. Like you say sh instead of s for your S's. Does that make sense? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I would have noticed if I said sh instead of sh. Hope you find who you're looking for. If you have any follow-up questions, I'll be on the seesaw. I know dead mom jokes make people uncomfortable. I know that. And if you are uncomfortable, I don't know what to say. You should have worked harder, so it was you up here. No, honestly, I never want to make people feel uncomfortable with that information. So much so that I used to lie to everybody growing up. I used to tell everybody that my parents were separated so I wouldn't have to say my mom's dead. And that worked very well until recently a friend of mine found out I had lied and she was very upset. She was like, your mom's dead? Taylor, you told me your parents were separated. And I was like, well, they were. By Jesus. Both her parents are alive, so she has no idea how funny that is, but she'll get it eventually, right? Like, that joke is a slow burn. Kind of like cancer, which is what got mine. Hey-o! Okay, all right. Oh, here's the deal, Boston. We have another, 6 minutes of dead mom jokes. I know, you're getting like, oh no, 6 minutes, that's a long time. It won't feel long. I've cushioned her, all right? I have laid my dead mom to rest in a beautiful casket of dick jokes and pop culture references. There's something for everybody over the next 6 minutes. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll forget she's dead. But I know a lot's happening for you as a crowd right now, because you're like, Taylor, we're good people. Good people wouldn't laugh at dead mom jokes. I'm here to tell you that if you're trying to be a good person at a comedy show, you're wasting your goddamn time. Trying to be a good person at a comedy show is like trying to recycle at a theme park. You're already in here and part of the problem. Put your hands up and have fun. And I know you're good people. You're like, Taylor, we've known you for 25 minutes. We hate that anything bad ever happened to you even once. Thank you so much, Boston. But what you have to understand is the bad thing already happened. And now I'm talking about it into a microphone in front of people who paid to be here. Which means now the bad thing is money. Do you think I'd be this successful at my age if I had a live mom? No. I'd be a creative writing teacher who loved myself, and I'd be sitting in the dark with you peasants, okay? She's in heaven. I'm on Netflix. It all worked out. That is a real thing I said in therapy. To which my therapist responded, you should come in twice this week. Some people get sad because I was 8 when it happened, but 8 is a great time to lose a parent because you're so stupid. You barely know what's going on. He came out, he goes, thought he found a new angle, right? He comes out, he goes, you know, we always kind of rush through the Christmas story, don't we? Since we all know it so well. But if you ever really stop to think about what this must have been like for Mary, and all the women were like, oh, and all the men were like, no. Which one's Mary again? Oh, are you talking about the vessel? You talking about the hole we put the Lord in? You talking about the Jesus jar? You talking about the Christ cubby? You talking about the Savior sack? You talking about the prophet pocket? We could keep going, but we have to move on. But that's a fun game to play to come down from the cousin fight, if you want. That Mary POV sermon went over so well for him that he came out the next year all excited. Like last year we talked about what it must have been like for Mary to find out she was pregnant with Jesus. But have you ever stopped to think about what this must have been like for Joseph? And all the men were like, finally, representation. I also think whores are lying to me. Joseph was Mary's betrothed at the time. Again, I don't assume everybody knows all the Bible stories. You grew up in church, you're like, everybody's learning these. Nope, some kids were having childhoods on their bikes. Yeah. Is there anyone in here who never went to church, has never believed in God, never been religious at all? Wow, all in the back. That checks out. That checks out. Well, you sound very at peace. You sound so relaxed, but how do you know right from wrong? How do you not kill people? Some Christians talk like that. My dad growing up was like, you know, if I weren't a Christian, I'd be in jail. And I'm like, whoa, I'm 6. Let's do Goodnight Moon tomorrow instead of Dad's Dark Thoughts. Some Christians walk around like, yeah, if Sky Dad didn't have me on house arrest, there'd be some mud on my boots. And you're like, cool, let's only hang out in groups. But if you didn't grow up in church, you might not know a lot of Bible stories. You might not know any Bible stories. I won't put you on the spot, don't worry. I used to learn my lesson. One time I asked someone and they panicked and went, VeggieTales! We always get the cast of Pirates of the Caribbean. We always get Shigo from Kim Possible. We always get Robin Hood the Fox version. You know. And then people always ask what my queer awakening was. And my queer awakening, I figured out because I was watching home movies of me as a little kid. And I found this video of me talking to my mom when I was like 3 or 4. And do you guys remember the girl deer from Bambi, Pauline? Okay, so apparently Pauline was my queer awakening. And we do have the footage.
What's the best?
Because he jumped the best.
What about Pauline? Isn't she the best too?
Yeah, she's very pretty. She makes me like a hot dog in a pan.
She makes you like a hot dog in a pan? My goodness, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Thank you so much, Grand Rapids. I cannot thank you enough. One more time for Sophie Buttle, everybody. I'm not sure if I want kids now. I go back and forth on whether or not I want kids so often that sometimes I just want to get my tubes tied because that feels like the reproductive equivalent of pouring water on brownies in the trash. You know, and you're like, I'm going to want these later. But I'm thinking straight now. So I'm going to remove the option. If you're not laughing, congrats on having a healthy relationship with food your whole life. Do we have any moms in here that wouldn't mind? Oh, good. You're like, yes, I am. I love that. That wouldn't mind me asking them personal questions about childbirth. Love it. Your hand's still up. Love that. Moms are so cool. They're always like, yeah, sure. I'm an open book. Literally. They cracked my spine on the way out. So I would love to share. Okay. How many kids do you have? 2? Nice. How old are they? 16 and 18? Oh, thank God. They're like full people. When people have babies, I freeze up. I'm like, oh, is it water? Has it opened its eyes or has it dried out? They come out pretty slick, right? Yeah. Got a grip on it. Okay. You got teenagers. Did you have your kids out the main terminal? Yeah. I thought that was a classy way of putting it. Okay. So I've talked to a lot of women on this tour who have told me, because I'm very scared of childbirth, which makes sense. I grew up in church where not even abstinence could protect you fully, right? They told you the story of Mary. They're like, yeah, no, keep your knees closed. Hope God doesn't pick you. Like it adds a whole other layer of fear to childbirth. Childbirth is already terrifying. What if it's breech? What if it's sick? What if it's God? So I'm very scared of childbirth, and I've talked to a lot of moms on this tour who have told me that when you're pushing, a lot of times your body's like, we know what you're looking for. Coming right up. Ding, ding, ding. And at some point during the process, in addition to a baby, you may also push out. Did you poop? Yeah. Thank you for being honest. Thank you so much. Here's what I've learned asking that question for the last couple years. There's only 2 correct answers to did you poop during childbirth. Yes, I did, and I do not recall. Yes, I did, or none of my business. Because some moms talk about childbirth like it's a music festival they went to once. They're like, I was on a lot of drugs. I think your dad was there. I don't know. All I remember is I kept yelling, play my song, bitch. And they made me leave before I was ready. The first time I ever asked someone, I was at a comedy club in Dallas, Texas. There was a woman in the front row. She goes, 3 kids, never pooped. And there was a table of nurses nearby who were wasted, you guys, who started scream laughing at her. Everybody poops, every single person. And if you think you didn't, then we fucking lied to you. And I had to watch this whole woman's world change. It was like the Truman Show. I felt so bad. I was trying to save the vibe in there. I was like, hey, babe, don't feel bad. Even if I, airlift mine out, I'm going to poop on that table just to show him who's boss, right? To be clear, I thought I was on an antidepressant. It turns out I'm not. It turns out I'm actually on a mood stabilizer that they use as an antidepressant. Fun fact about prescription drugs. Everything they prescribe, they actually use for like 4 different things. So you don't really know what your deal is until you find a combo that works and then Google all your pills by yourself. So after years of trial and error, I finally found a combination of things that worked for me. And 6 months ago, I decided to Google it, because what the hell? And it turns out that everything I'm taking is primarily used for bipolar disorder. So I went back to my psychiatrist and I was like, hey, do we think? And she was like, oh, Yeah. And I was like, is this how you fucking tell people? And she's like, no, of course not. We didn't know. I'm glad we figured it out. And I was like, we? I said, you really didn't know that I was bipolar? And she goes, no, of course not. We thought we were treating anxiety and depression. And I said, okay. Because this kind of feels like a putting your dog's medication in cheese situation. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this diagnosis. And she goes, well, if it makes you feel better, you don't have to say I am bipolar. You can say I have bipolar, which feels a lot like someone going, I said you were being a bitch. I'm so glad I know that I'm bipolar now. I mean, I have the right meds. I got a mood ring. I'm handling it. But when I first found out, it was a very tough pill to swallow, and I've swallowed a lot of pills. Because when you first find out something like that, you're like, oh man, am I gonna tell anybody? Should I tell anybody? And if I do tell people, am I hot and or talented enough to be an inspiration? Like, if I have a thing and someone else has that thing and they find out I have it too, are they gonna feel good or bad with that information? Because when I got diagnosed, they started listing names. They were like, you know who else is bipolar? Selena Gomez. And I was like, that does make me feel better. She is very pretty. Okay, I'll be bipolar. I did not grow up in a household that was very like mental health conscious. Like, we were very religious. I don't know if you've ever tried to tell your conservative dad that you have a mental health issue. It doesn't go great. When I was in high school, I was like, Dad, I think I'm depressed. And he was like, you just need some protein. Get a scoop of peanut butter. Yeah, there's a lot of dads out there just white knuckling it through life right now. Clinging to a jar of chunky Jif like it's the answer. Just a buoy in the storm. It'll pass. The only mental health advice my dad ever gave me is I was having panic attacks in high school and I didn't know what they were. And I was very stressed out. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I feel like this. I don't know what to do. And he goes, all right. All I can tell you is that when you feel like this, get as far away from the people you care about as possible until you feel different. Which is advice you give a werewolf. Like, just run into the woods so you're not a monster anymore. Don't let them see you change. They won't accept you for what you truly are. And I had friends who scared me too when I was trying to get on medication. They were like, ugh, I tried antidepressants. I didn't like how I felt on them. I didn't feel like myself. And now that I'm on them, I'm like, yeah, me neither. It's the best. Okay? And I do feel like myself. I just feel like now someone's sitting on me going, shh, stop talking. You will ruin everything. We are trying to help you. You'd be married right now if you just shut the hell up. Remember that? Yeah, us too. We are trying to help you. Go to sleep. Choose a different adventure. And they warn you about the side effects when you get on medication. They go, you know, your sex drive might go down. And I'll be honest, I have experienced that since I got on medication. But I can't tell if my sex drive is lower or if my self-esteem is just higher now. You know? It's like, am I not in the mood or do I just not need the validation? Which is it? Because depression will bring you to your knees and you're like, well, I'm down here. Might as well make someone feel good. I do not want to waste a trip. If you're not laughing, congrats on your serotonin. And if you're like, what's serotonin? Don't worry, you have enough. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it on stage, and then I needed new material, and I was like, fire sale, everything goes. No, truthfully, I was surprised that I felt so bad about it, because I think I'm pretty open-minded, and I don't think anybody should feel bad if they get diagnosed with a mental illness, because it's just information about you that helps you know how to take better care of yourself. Yeah. Being bipolar, there's nothing wrong with it. Being bipolar is like not knowing how to swim. It might be embarrassing to tell people, and it might be hard to take you certain places. But they have arm floaties. And if you just take your arm floaties, you can go wherever the hell you want. And I know some of you are like, but Taylor, what if people judge me for taking arm floaties? Well, those people don't care if you live or die. So maybe who cares? Maybe fuck those people a little. I don't know. That being said, you have to take your arm floaties. Because it's not cool to know you can't swim, go to the public pool anyway, and jump into the deep end, making it everyone else's problem. And you're thrashing around going, I'm good. They're like, you're literally drowning. And then someone nice and handsome jumps in to help you. And you're like, see, I'm fine. I can totally swim. And they're like, no, you're holding him underwater. You turned Kevin into an arm floaty. And that's not a fair relationship for Kevin. Then someone floats by you on their back and you're like, what was that? And they're like, oh, that's someone whose parents supported them in the pool. Until they could be trusted not to die. Here are your arm floaties. I was very nervous to tell friends of mine I was bipolar because I thought they would think of me differently. And then I told all my friends, and nobody did. And it was actually pretty insulting. Because I've had friends tell me they were bipolar, and I was like, what? You? You're kidding. And then I told my friends, and they were like, that checks out. That connects a lot of dots for us. I told Dustin, one of my best friends in the whole world, and he goes, yeah, your mental illness was kind of like your middle name. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that you had one. I'm not proud of this, but I told the girl that married him, I was like, you better hope he never does go to space. And she goes, why? Because it's dangerous? I said, no, because he's going to cheat on you up there. Oh, you don't think astronauts are cheating? They're in space for months, floating. How long do you think it's going to take before one of them looks at each other like, hey, you know we should try? Houston, we have a problem. Not a big one. I mean, it's medium. It's not small or anything. I'm just saying what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens on the moon never even happened. We faked that landing. That's a joke. We didn't fake it. There were no female astronauts back then. For work, he and I have very similar jobs. We're both out here on the weekends, changing lives. No, he hates it when I say that. He hates it so much. I'm always trying to talk shop with him. I'm like, hey, Jim, how was your early show? He's like, you know it's first service, Taylor. I'm like, well, I just noticed you had a heckler on the late one. He goes, that person was yelling amen and hallelujah to agree. I'm like, that's the worst kind of heckler, Jim, because they're being supportive, but they're still disrupting your flow, right? I go, you know, I donate 10% of what I make, too. He's like, to who? I'm like, my agent, but it's still a tithe. I'm like, I'm kidding, Jim. I know we don't do the same thing. But think about this. I make them feel guilty Saturday night. You save their ass Sunday morning. I set them up. You spike the ball. You're welcome. I helped. But my Uncle Jim's like a great pastor. He's like very progressive. He gives really interesting sermons. We didn't have a cool pastor like my Uncle Jim growing up. And he's, I really wanted to marry. And when it didn't work out, I was devastated. I said, really? I didn't know about this. And my dad goes, I did. She talks about him all the time. And I was like, well, wait, who was this guy? What was his deal? And she goes, well, he was really cool, actually. He was an Alzheimer's scientist. And my dad goes, notice how that's not cured yet. And she's like, wow, honey, well, I hope we never get Alzheimer's. He's like, I hope we do, so we can all forget about this guy. I used to be way too loose with who I asked relationship advice from. I used to ask people in the audience, total strangers. I asked a couple in the front row of a show once, 2 couples therapists who had married each other. Which, I know, you ever see like quadruple stuffed Oreos and you're like, enough, right? That is a hat on a hat. It's excessive. But I was like, wow, 2 off-duty couples therapists. You gotta ask them, right? I said, do you guys have any advice for people in relationships, maybe people who are fighting a lot? And they said, we do. You know how a lot of people have a safe word to stop sex? Everyone needs to have a safe word during fights. So I asked a married friend of mine, I said, do you guys have a safe word for fights? And he was like, what? I'm like, it's a word that when you say it during the fight, it stops the fight. And he goes, oh yeah, we have one of those. I said, really? What is it? He goes, cunt. But I have to say, it doesn't really work if she said it. I was like, Jesus, I was looking for like pineapple, dude, but... I used to ask people for relationship advice after breakups because I thought that was me working on myself, but it really wasn't. It was just me trying to figure out how to get into another relationship as quickly as possible, so I wouldn't have to work on myself. The reason people don't want to be single for long periods of time is that once you're single for a little bit, you start to notice, ooh, some of the issues in my relationships are still here. And it's just me now. There's only one set of footprints in the sand. And no one's carrying my ass, right? Like, I've realized in the last year, I still have a lot to work on. I've realized I'm very petty in relationships. I realize that because I don't wear perfume when I'm single. Don't even think about it. I wear perfume when I'm in a relationship, though, because I know that if we break up and you smell that smell later, you'll get sad. And that makes me happy. I don't wear perfume to smell good. I wear it to haunt you later. I was on a first date with a guy. I realized we both had 3 younger siblings. I said, oh my God, let's text our sibling group chats right now. Ask them what our biggest flaw is. I'm so fun on a first date. I can't believe I'm alone. He texts his brothers, hey guys, what's my biggest flaw? And they write back, works too hard, cares too much. One of them wrote back dyslexic, which I thought was pretty funny. He couldn't read it, but I could. I text my siblings, hey guys, what's my biggest flaw? And my brother writes back immediately, probably that you expect everyone to hurt you, so you just leave before they can. I was like, dude, I'm on a date right now. He's like, oh, sorry, it works too hard. I thought this was a secure line. I'm a very emotional person. I'm a very emotional partner. I think I'm run by my emotions. Did you guys know that some people feel their feelings privately? Have you guys heard about this compartmentalizing bullshit? Some people apparently have these polite little feelings that shuffle up to them during the day, tug on their sleeve, like, hello, excuse me, I need to be felt at some point whenever you get a chance. And you're like, oh my God, well, I'm at work right now. And you're like, oh my God, you're at work? I'm so sorry. Do you have time later? Well, I get off. When I was 8, I was like, the only people I know with dead moms are Disney princesses. So like, this sucks, but am I about to get hot? Then I hit puberty and I was like, oh no, I guess God just hates me right now. That's a bummer. That's a joke. God doesn't hate anybody, all right? Not anymore. But have you read the Old Testament? Holy shit. The Old Testament is my favorite Taylor Swift album. It is banger after banger. Just like, you don't believe in me? Snakes! Look what you made me do. I'm a 20-something white woman. Obviously, I'm going to compare T Swift to the Lord, all right? She is the only God I still believe in, all right? I don't see God revamping his old shit. And let's be honest, he probably should, because the people who own it now suck. It does grow you up very quickly, losing a parent that young. I mean, I saw a dead body when I was 8, which means I saw a dead body years before I saw a dick. And that is not the order this shit should go in, according to the American Girl Body Book. Although maybe it should be, because you know what's crazy? A dick, way more traumatizing than your dead mom. Oh my God, it's so much worse. I saw my mom, I was like, that lady used to make me snacks, now she's very still. I saw a dick for the first time, I was like, oh my God, who took Jabba the Hutt's eyes? You have done nothing for me. No, I didn't say Beetlejuice even one time. I haven't seen that many dicks, and I don't want to see any more. And it's nothing against men. I'm attracted to you for some reason. But I swear to God, every time you see a new dick, there's an adjustment period, isn't there? Just a real quick, like, and we're back in it. All right. I have stayed in relationships too long because I just wasn't ready to see a fresh one. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, literally or figuratively. I just didn't have it in me. Couldn't have it in me. And I don't care how many dicks you've seen. Every time you see a new dick, it feels like jumping into a cold pool. Just like, whoa, all right, let me just swim around, get used to this one. Okay, all right, this one's deeper than the last one, but that's okay. That's all right. This is why we take our arm floaties, you know, for moments like these. Just control your breathing. Hot girl summer, bitch. You can do it. I think of the genitalia options available, I think dicks seem friendlier, you know? They're up, they're happy to see you, they're wagging. I've never had sex. It's like a front tail, right? I'll Google it, it's fine. It's all speculation. I've never seen a vagina, not even my own, I'm a Christian. But from what I hear, it is very spooky down there. It's just a dark, spooky hole. Like, a hole? I'm sorry, what? Every time someone fingers me, I'm like, you are very trusting, sir. Because I don't even know where that goes. That might be where I keep the bipolar. That might be where it has been. Actually, if you see any, could you scrape it out? Could you? Just like a mental health pap smear? Can you just do? Don't do that. Like, you gotta hook your finger. Like when a baby's choking, are you familiar? If you do that, it'll push it in too far. It's too late. But if you hook your finger, you swipe it. That's how you get it out. I like doing that joke because it goes too far, but you do learn something that could save a life. I just love the idea of years from now, someone being like, if it weren't for that dick joke, my niece would not be here. I don't think I'm smarter than religious people. I hate it when atheists talk down to anyone who believes in God. I've believed a lot of stupid shit in my life. God's not even top 3, okay? I've believed tall guys. He plays guitar, he must be nice. I'm dumb, all right? When my religious family members talk about God, like God got me through the hardest years of my life, I'm like, shit, that's how I talk about Gilmore Girls. Like, I'm an idiot. And I capitalize those G's. I make sure every time. That's right. Yeah. But I have a lot of Christians in my life. A lot of people praying for me, which I try not to take personally. You ever have someone say they're praying for you and you don't know what they're referring to? They're like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm praying for you. What? I'm not sick. Oh yeah? Well, I'm praying for you. What do you think about that, Bev? Heard you need it, bitch. She's like, no, God's just been putting you on my heart lately. Well, tell God to scrape me off your heart because I'm doing awesome, okay? I don't know what you heard in the church parking lot, but that was a family matter, Bev. I'm going to tint the van windows. I have a lot of cool Christians in my life. I used to be a really toxic girlfriend. I've worked on it a lot in therapy over the years. I was a nightmare in my 20s. I was dating a guy once in my 20s, and we were laying on the couch one night, and we weren't fighting, and I thought that was weird. So I turned to him. And I said, hey, babe, if you found out that we were cousins, would you break up with me? And he goes, yes. And I was like, whoa, fast. No follow-up questions. You're just out like that. He goes, it's illegal, Taylor. I'm like, so are mushrooms, and we did those. Now you're this law-abiding citizen just because we're cousins? He goes, you're so wrong about this. Ask anyone we know. So I texted the 3 happiest couples in my phone. And I said, hey, if you two found out you're cousins, you didn't know when you met, you haven't known this whole time you've been together, you have the same relationship you've always had, but whoops, you're cousins. Would you break up? And they all wrote back, do we have to tell anybody? And I showed him my phone and I said, that's what love looks like. Quick poll. If you found found out your partner was your cousin, clap if you would break up with them. Okay. That's a lot of people. No, don't discuss. Fight in the car. Fight in the car. Okay, now, if you found out your partner was a robot, clap if you would break up with them. Oh, interesting. Bit of a drop-off over here. Some of us clap for cousin and not for robot. Okay, so we're going to abandon our family, but we'll keep fucking the toaster.